What's going on, guys? Welcome back. This might be the patch of patches, man. I mean, Vanguard main, Strategists, you guys are feasting. This is probably one of the craziest side-by-sides that I can remember doing on the channel. Loads of changes, all buffs, no nerfs, a lot to get to. Let's break it down. All right, guys, first up is Angela, and they'll be increasing the movement speed of Assassin Charge. You can see right here in the side-by-side, she goes a fair amount more in terms of meters per second, because it's going up 16 meters per second to 18. This will come in clutch when you're trying to close in on an objective a bit sooner, or you're trying to throw somebody off a map all the much more. On top of that, they increase Heaven's Retribution, her ultimate spear health from 600 to 800, giving you a little bit more time to swing with the axes and get those KOs. Next up, we have Captain America, and Steve Rogers gained a new ability effect on his Freedom Charge, his ultimate. Allies will get a 30% boost to their ultimate energy charge efficiency. So in this example, Moon Knight getting that hand of Khonshu extremely quickly, and this is going to come actually clutch when it comes to domination points, trying to sustain something on defense, or going for the aggression push, led by the first Avenger. Now, quite possibly one of the biggest Vanguard buffs is going to Groot. His Ironwood wall new effect is going to give him unstoppable when within 15 meters of the awakened Ironwood wall. You don't have to activate by getting a hit. You just have to be next to the wall to be unstoppable. That means Wolverine, Luna Snow, you name it, cannot stop this guy. CC no longer if you got the Ironwood wall up. I think Groot's going to be a freaking demon. Moving on to the Gamma God, the Green Goliath has a new effect on his Gamma Clap. So each time he gets a direct hit, it's going to reduce Indestructible Guard down by 1 second, allowing him to get a lot more shields and thus more ult charge. So this is going to do two things for one. Not going to be probably as big of a difference for Hulk compared to some of the other Vanguard buffs, but definitely warranted and a step in the right direction to make Hulk all the more meta. And probably the craziest buff of the entire freaking patch, Magneto, NetEase's favorite Vanguard, is getting a separate cooldown on both of his bulwarks, the metal and the iron, so you can put a bubble of protection over your ally and yourself. Just final boss mode, absolutely freaking crazy. On top of that, they will be reducing the health of these from 250 to 200, but who gives a damn? All right, let's talk Peni Parker. Her webs are now going to give a healing over time to the allies within it. It's a pretty marginal heal, so it's nothing too crazy. Going to be nice to top off, you know, your health if you're on defense. But the biggest thing for me, or at least the biggest difference, was the movement boost is pretty massive for a lot of heroes, especially Vanguards. That's the thing that stood out to me. So you get healing and movement boost when in Peni's cyberwebs. Next up, let's talk about Ben Grimm. The thing got insane offense and defensive buffs. First up, we've got the Embattled Leap. No longer is damage reduction to go just to one ally. It goes to a slew of them. 20% damage reduction to all allies within 5 meters of the landing point. This is massive across all game modes. In most instances, this is by far one of my favorite buffs of the entire patch. They will be reducing the damage reduction to self from 25 down to 20%. On top of that, the aggression attack Battle Blitz will have no damage reduction any longer, but now will have 20% vulnerability on enemies within the 5 meters of its landing point, allowing you to do all the much more chaos when attacking your opponents. Last but not least, and this is an insane example when you look at this Groot side by side, his Stone Haymaker base damage will be going from 90 to 55. However, it gains a new effect of 8% of enemies' max health per hit. You can see me just absolutely destroy this Groot on the side-by-side. And alongside this, the bonus health is no longer 50 on activation, but in this example, you gain bonus health per equal damage dealt, which can be pretty quick if you are attacking a Vanguard. In turn, though, this attack does lose a little bit of its bite towards Strategists and lower health duelists. Next up, let's talk about Hawkeye, who's going to get an increase on his Archer's Focus maximum bonus damage from 75 to 90, and that may not seem like a big deal, but this tank burster is going to get all the much better. And for example, on this side-by-side, he is now able to one-shot a Jeff with a quick flick of the wrist of the Archer's Focus maximum hit. Feels good to kill the Jeff after all the BS from Season 4. Moving right along, we go to Mr. Fantastic, who at 100 elasticity will be gaining himself the ability to use Reflexive Rubber. This can be used towards the end of the cooldown to soak up hits, or if things are getting a little dicey for Reed Richards. On top of that, he also is not going to get 350 bonus health anymore, but now 350 maximum health with a one-time heal of 350. This is going to allow your healers to keep you sustained up while you're going big in inflated mode, and this is really going to help out, I think, in a lot of different instances for Mr. Fantastic. We'll see if this gives him a big boost on the server, but he's always been a low elo terrorist. We'll see if that continues in the high elo this time around. Now, Moon Knight wasn't in the direct duelist patch notes, but he did get a new team up anchor bonus of 5% more damage. So yes, Moon Knight just keeps on feasting, man. Khonshu is absolutely blessing this guy. All right, Jean Grey Lover's Phoenix is going to get a little bit of an adjustment on her Cosmic Flame maximum fall-off damage at 30 meters. It's going to go up just a little bit from 60% up to 75%, so a 15% damage increase. Now, quickly, guys, I wanted to go ahead and slow things down for a second and say we're almost at 1 year of this channel being alive. If you haven't and you watch a lot of the content, heck, if we even had some of the people watching this video just subscribe right here, we can hit some big goals that I have for the channel and want to do a lot of different, well, you'll see. It's going to be pretty cool. We got a lot cooking up in 2026. If you haven't already, just take a second, click subscribe down below. A lot of content coming your way, and let's get back to the content. Next up, let's talk about Storm, and I don't have a direct side-by-side for this one because, well, I you know what? I need people to shoot this with when it comes to the server. I'll continue to find that when it comes to the early access more often. But her weather control is going to get a damage boost up for allies from 10% to 12%, and in the Goddess boost, it's going to go from 12% to 15%. So, you know, that much more damage when you're boosting up your allies. This is going to come in clutch because Triple Vanguard is about to be everywhere with all of these tank buffs. Now, Squirrel Girl also got a nice little buff across the board of her Acorn burst damage, going from 100 damage up to 110, so expect even more of that nut spam. Next up, you can see in Spider-Man's side-by-side example, first of all, the reduction of his web cluster energized time from 2.5 seconds to 2 seconds is pretty noticeable, and this is going to matter that much more when you're trying to flee the scene, come back, and get those webs all the way back up. And just in time, because the amazing combo damage is going to go from 60 to 70, allowing for that much smoother of combos, and you can see the side-by-side pretty nice here. You spice this up with the overhead hit, you're going to get some crazy OTK potential. Now, Frank Castle did lose his team up anchor bonus. That's definitely going to hurt a little bit, but they did buff up his overall damage at the 40 meter mark. 70% damage to 85% is definitely going to make up for a lot of the lack of damage, but in other instances, he will be getting a nerf in his ultimate in some other areas. His shotgun Deliverance is also going from 14 to 16 in the pellets that it does shoot out, and his health going from 275 to 300. Lastly, for the duelist, we have Logan. Wolverine is going to be getting a massive boost to his rage damage. You can see as I build my rage up just how quickly I take down the Groot, and this isn't even at consistent 100 rage, so the damage numbers get even more ridiculous if you're going to go for a side-by-side for that example. But his Vicious Rampage, I do have at 100 rage each, and you can see the difference in damage for this ability. On top of that, they reduced back down the cooldown of his Kidnap Pharaoh Leap from 15 seconds down to 12 seconds. Next up, let's talk about all the huge strategist changes. We have Adam Warlock. We're going to get an increase on his soul flight speed from 6 meters a second to 12. This guy's absolutely zooming now when you die, and your enemies cannot chase after you with relative ease this time around. I think this is a pretty nice buff for Adam. But in addition to this, his Karmic Revival is going to go from 4,700 energy cost down to 4,500. And the ally detection radius from 30 meters to 35, so that much easier to res your dead teammates. Cloak and Dagger, although a small amount, is a pretty big buff. Their base health going from 250 to 275. And Invisible Woman getting an absolute just arsenal of buffs, making her easily, in my opinion, the best strategist in the game currently. Her orb projection damage is going to go from 25 to 30, and the maximum range from 30 to 35, and the speed from 120 to 150. Buffs across the board. If that wasn't enough, her force push in force physics length is going to go from 30 meters to 35, which is pretty substantial. And the best of it all, she can now put a Guardian Shield on herself by just pressing the recall button, which is massive in so many different scenarios. This is going to give her a nice little top off of health and extra survivability. All right, let's talk Loki. He's going to get an increase in his base health from 250 to 275. And his mystical missile damage fall off at 3 meters is going to go from 50 to 80%, although I did this up close, and it was hard to tell, I'll be honest. Maybe I wasn't 3 meters, but either way, up close and personal, going to do a little bit more damage. And has a new effect that now heals direct hit allies for an extra 10 health. Remember, all this stacks up a ton when it comes to his clones as well. All right, Rocket Raccoon is the last strategist we talk about today. He gets a reduction in his BRB res cooldown from 45 seconds to 40 seconds. In addition to that, his repair mode maximum count goes from 5 to 7 projectile, and the speed from 60 to 80. That's a lot more healing for the rocket. Lastly, guys, his primary is just zooming now, going from 150 meters per second to 180. Again, doing that much more damage up close and far away. So there you guys go. That is the mega patch of Season 5. Let me know down below what you thought was the biggest crazy difference you saw between the before and afters, and what you think is going to make the biggest difference in the live server. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Have a good one. Have a great one. Subscribe. Yes, you, if you haven't already. And happy rifle.